This is Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. We're going to jump into the Bitcoin 24-hour-a-day chart so we can check it out first. Remember, we typically track XBTF, which is the Bitcoin ETF. This is the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. Is provided by Bitstamp. Very similar to the ETF that only goes, during market hours. We see about the same thing, just a sideways slide with a little bit of negativity there. We see the latest 2-day candle. We can, in fact, go all the way back to Monday of last week, Monday of this week. This is a 195-minute chart, but it is a constant 195 minutes and not just twice a day. So we can see how on Monday it has run up and pushed through that weekly trend line. We have a green spinning top on the 2-day. And again, you can just sort of see it's sloppy and not very helpful. What has Bitcoin basically done since the beginning of the year? Of course, it's popped up, slid down, popped up, slid down, popped up. It's done that 3 times to go from a starting position at the beginning of the year of somewhere around an opening of 16,797 to its most recent high of $31,818. So slowly but inexorably, it has moved its way up. Now, what is it doing now? Pulling back some. We'll see if it gets ready to take off again or if it's going to be a hard down. Don't know at this point. We look at Ethereum, about the same thing. Ethereum started off the beginning of the year opening at $1,214, up, sideways down a little bit, up, sideways down, and pretty much sideways. It looks like the high on Ethereum was all the way back in April. And that high was 2140. So from 12, well, the low was 1193, but we'll say the opening was 1214 to a high of 2140. So again, not too shabby as far as that move goes up, but of course it peaked back in April. Nothing to really tell you that, and it sort of rolled along sideways and down some since then. Hit its most recent low, I guess, back in June. What about this is the 10 crypto, Bitwise 10 crypto index fund. It is the top 10 cryptocurrencies weighted as per market share. And you can see where it went up for a nice 5 weeks. It hit its high back in the week beginning the 10th of July, a little lower that week. In the last 3 weeks, it's just been sort of sliding down. So what do we see going on in the crypto space? Bitcoin sliding sideways, down. We see Ethereum sliding sideways and down. And we see Bitwise sliding sideways and down. Now, are they going to roll back around and start moving up with lots of power? Don't know, because as we've been talking about lately, the stock market itself is off of its highs and looks to be starting to pull back. Remember what happened with the cryptocurrencies last time? They went down too. They were not an inverse of the markets. They went down with the market. So we'll see as we continue to move along. So keep that in mind. Very important to keep in mind what historically has happened with these cryptocurrencies when the market itself has gone down. Now let's take a look at commodities. We see where things are with the United States Gasoline Fund. It hit a high back on the week beginning 24th of July, and it's been rolling off since then, has broken the trend line. We look at oil itself. It is continuing actually to move up. Now we've not reached a higher high this week yet, but we're not too far off. So oil still moving okay, although like I said, gasoline off of its high. So we'll keep an eye on the energy sector. We look at silver. Of course, it's pulled back quite a bit. Like gold has it, we report to you every day. This is a big down week for silver. You can see those accelerating 3 2-day candles. Look at that volume on average, so it's just nicely building the down move. What do we see on wheat? Wheat had gone up for 2 weeks when there was a talk about Russia cutting off the Ukrainian wheat. And then that sort of got out of the news and it moved back down. Soybeans, they hit a high on the 24th of July and they've since fallen off. Copper used a lot in industrial stuff. 2 weeks of nice up movement and then this week rolling over, going down. You can see where it peaked with that high volume. And of course, no more, rolled over. So, and I had one more, and this is United States Gas Fund, natural gas. Look at this. Remember how we were told, they're going to freeze to death in Europe, and all that hype drove up natural gas to a high back in August of last year. Look at that high. I mean, up to a high of $34.50 and then down. And then, of course, in November and all, sort of peaking up a little bit and then down. And it has just been in the doldrums since then. I mean, literally from that high of $34.50 now down to, I think it closed today, $7.52. So again, not a lot going on there in nat gas. We'll see as we come out of summer and start going into the winter, what's the Ukraine war going to do? Are we going to see it go up again? We'll keep an eye on things. Not so far. Lastly, we'll take a look at some currencies for a little excitement. We saw where the euro had peaked, moved up quite strongly for 2 weeks, and then, of course, falling away from the American dollar for the last 3 weeks, down 42.42% for the day. British pound not down quite as much, 0.33, but again, same kind of thing, although it went up for several weeks, hit its high back on the week beginning July the 10th, and then rolling over since then. And, of course, what do we see going on with the Swiss franc? Of course, it peaked. Let's see, did it peak this week? 103.68, 103.84. So it peaked the week beginning the 17th of July and then rolling over since then. So that's where we are in the currencies. We see that they are just not garnering. One last thing I can show you is what's up with not a whole lot going on either with the yen, the Japanese yen. It had moved down, popped up for a couple of weeks, and again, like everything else, rolling away from the American dollar's hegemony that started pushing back up again, and everything else moving down. So that is where we are when it comes to cryptos, commodities, and currencies. It's nice to deal with some real world stuff. Look at it once a week, see what's really going on. You got the little crypto world there. Love looking at the commodities and see what's happening with us. Real kinds of things we use in business and eat, trade, drink, whether it's coffee or it's wheat or it's copper or it's silver or it's soybeans. It's fun to look at those things, see what they're doing, and see what the currencies are doing around the world when it comes to the American dollar. That's where we are. Appreciate you being with us. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. God bless.